Welcome to Living Life in the End for the Successful and Fulfilled Woman. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, the Liberated Lawyer. I help women to get everything they desire in life by equipping them with powerful strategies to achieve the fulfillment they desire and deserve. Who said you can't have it all? Clearly, they did not know about living life in the end. When women make powerful decisions and create great strategies, they can have everything they desire in life. Girlfriend, forget about choosing between being successful or fulfilled. You can be successful and fulfilled. It's time. It's time for you to get everything you desire and deserve. It's time for you to live your life on purpose. It's time for you to live a life that is fulfilled, meaningful, and full of joy. It's time for you to walk boldly in the power of your decisions. If you are going to be in this world, you need to be fulfilled in this life. Life is too long to be unfulfilled. Join me for another episode of Living Life in the End, where you learn how to live fulfilled, fit, and free. Hey, it's time for Musing from the Mind of Dr. SDB, where I share provocative thoughts to help you live your life in the end. Girl, I've got something on my mind. I used to work with a coach that constantly said powerful people ask powerful questions. And of course, I am a trained attorney. And as most legal scholars begin, we are trained with the Aristotle, Aristotle, no, Socrates, not Aristotle, Socratic method after Socrates. I can't even talk today. But anyway, the foundation of legal education is in asking questions. When you come to class, rather than just talking about different issues, the professor will pose a series of questions to students that allow them to apply whatever they've learned from the case law that they have been reading. It's called the Socratic method. And I have found that asking questions is one of the most powerful things that we can do, because if we just go along to get along and never ask questions, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to truly learn more, to truly expand more, and most of all, to prioritize life experiences for ourselves. And I have found that as I have been on this journey of being a successful and fulfilled woman and committing to living my life in the end. And for those of you who don't know, living life in the end is a commitment to bringing the desires of your heart to completion through powerful choices, through exercising the power of your choice to create the life you desire and deserve. And I have found that in my quest to be successful and fulfilled, and in my quest to live life in the end, there are four very powerful questions that yield a successful and fulfilled life. And these four questions are quite simple. Answering them, maybe not so much. But here are the four questions: how, why not, why not me? And I believe if we asked ourselves these four questions more often, we would experience life more fully. We would open our minds to the possibilities of life. I believe that how is truly the most powerful question. How is an invitation to possibility. One of the things that I pride myself on and believe to be a superpower is I always find a way every time. I may cry, I may have a meltdown, I may have a mental breakdown for a period of time. I may get angry, I may pause, I may quit even, but I always get it done. And I always get it done because I have learned to ask myself, how? How? Most times when we are faced with an obstacle, the first question we ask is, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen? Or we may ask ourselves how, but it's really not from a sense of discovery, it's a sense of disbelief. And I believe that when you ask yourself how, you position yourself to begin to create solutions. Because if you desire to be successful and fulfilled, the first question you've got to ask yourself is how? How can I? How can I be successful and fulfilled? And the more you ask yourself this question, the more you are able to provide solutions that help you to understand how, help you to focus on the possibility. The next most powerful question is why? Why am I not successful? Why or why not? Right? So when you ask yourself why, instead of focusing on why as a woe is me moment, you really position yourself to have an inquiry into why are you not successful and fulfilled? What are the contributors to your lack of success or being successful but not fulfilled? When you ask yourself why, it allows you to invite self examination where you ask, why? And when someone tells you no, why? When someone says you can't, why not? Why and why not, I believe, are invitations to challenge the status quo, to challenge those who tell you you can't, or even yourself, and to challenge yourself to get back to the most powerful question of how. Because when you ask yourself why, you have to be honesty. Why is an invitation to honesty? Why do I feel the way I feel? Why am I unhappy? Why can't I do X, Y, and Z? It is an invitation for honesty. And then when you are honest and you've laid out all of the real reasons that are contributing to whatever it is that you've not succeeded at yet is important, then you go back to asking yourself why. Because the corollary of why is why not, because sometimes you need to ask yourself why, and sometimes you need to say, why not? Why can't I? Why not? And when you ask yourself why not, that is an invitation to expansion. How is an invitation to possibility? Why is an invitation to honesty? Why not is an invitation to expansion. And when you begin to say, well, why not? Then you are again opening your mind to see beyond the obstacle that you're presently facing, or the barrier that is presently in front of you, or the solution that has not yet materialized. So ask yourself how, Open the invitation or extend the invitation to possibility. Ask yourself why. Extend the invitation for honesty. Ask yourself, why not? Invite expansion. And the last powerful question, why not me? Why not me? This invites you to inclusion. Because many times we may think that the success and fulfillment that we desire is possible, but it's not possible for you. You may see someone else living their version of success and fulfillment, and you may think, well, I can't because, and then you fill in that blank with excuses and self doubt and fear and self rejection and self sabotage. But when you begin to think, why not me? You begin to include yourself in the vision and the idea and the dream. And you begin to look for ways to make it possible for you. So ask yourself these powerful questions, and you will invite yourself to be able to expand your capacity. And these questions ought to be asked often and in iterations of each other. Because once you begin to open the possibility of how, keep asking, how? How can I? How? How can this work? Because when you are faced with with seemingly insurmountable situation, if you start the evaluation with statements, this is hard, this is impossible, this is awful, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. When you start with those statements or any statement like that, you create a disposition for failure or a disposition for remaining stuck because you're telling yourself this is impossible. You tell yourself to stop. You tell yourself to give up. And you may not even use those words, but when you begin to attribute certain statements to the situation you're facing or the relationship or the job or whatever it is that you're trying to bring to fruition, a statement is a stop. It's a dead end. It's a period. When you ask yourself powerful questions, then you are opening your mind and opening the situation to solutions. You're not telling yourself anything. You're asking yourself powerful questions that you get to create the solution you seek. So, when you are faced with a difficult situation, or when you are struggling with finding balance between your work and your family life, or your work and your personal life, or you want more for yourself, but you don't know where to start, start by asking how. How could I? How can I? How would it be if? How much? How is just a beautiful question that opens capacity in so many ways. Follow that with asking, why? Why am I doing this? Why don't I have enough time? Why? Why is this so miserable to me? Why am I afraid? Why am I always quitting before I reach the finish line? Why do I? Why must I? All of these why questions, again, offer the opportunity for you to be honest with yourself and sometimes honest with others. And in other times, it allows others to be honest with you. I don't like you. Why? Not that you really care that they don't like you, but let's just say somebody says, I don't like you. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to do this. Why? That is an invitation for honesty. And hopefully they can articulate. And usually it has nothing to do with you. It may be something that you're doing or not doing, but it's not about you personally. And it could sometimes just be something that is related to how they feel about themselves that they're projecting onto you. But ask them why. Now, why is a powerful question. It can also be a dangerous question because if you don't ask it from the right spirit, you can ask it from a woe is me perspective. Why is this happening to me? As opposed to, why is this happening to me? Same question, different attitude. And sometimes we may start in the space that is a woe is me space. And sometimes, even when I ask how, sometimes it's like, Lord, how? What? How am I going to do this? Sometimes it is true disbelief. Like, are you serious? How? But we have to be mindful of the tone that we ask questions and ask questions with the right spirit. So instead of saying, oh, why? Why is this happening to me? Give yourself a redirection in thought and spirit and ask, why? Why is this happening to me? And you can follow that up with what opportunity is this presenting? How can this be better for me than what I expect? Getting back to that powerful question, how? And then again, why not? Why not? Why not? When you are asking that question, you're getting into expansion and you are challenging sometimes a statement that suggests that you can't. And when you ask, well, why not? Then it gives you an opportunity to expand possibility. And then always ask, why not me? Why not me? That person, oh, that woman is happy. Her life is joyful. She has a beautiful career. Why not me? Now, the point there is not to get all caught up in someone else's success, but to ask, why not me? And to, one, believe that the quality that you're admiring in another person is also possible for you in your own context and specific to what it is that your purpose is and what you need and desire. So if you are struggling with determining how you're going to live your life in the end, how you're going to use the power of your choices to create the life you desire and deserve, or if you're struggling with how you can be successful and fulfilled, I encourage you to ask yourself these four powerful questions. How? Why? Why not? Why not me? And when you get into the habit of asking these powerful questions over and over again, listening to the answers you receive, whether that is an answer that you're formulating yourself or an answer you are synthesizing from input from others or from the environment, what you will find is that you will create a spirit of innovation and a spirit of ingenuity and a spirit of inspiration. Instead of facing each challenge in your life with a statement, this is hard, this is difficult, this can't be done, this is the worst thing ever. Replace those statements with the four powerful questions. How? Why? Why not? Why not me? That's all I have to say about that. Thank you for joining me for another musing from the mind of Dr. SDB, where I share provocative thoughts that help you live your life in the end. I hope you learned something. I hope you felt something. But most of all, Girl, I hope you do something. Fulfillment won't happen because you desire it. It will happen because you decide to go get it. Let's get it. This episode was brought to you by the Successful and Fulfilled Woman New You Transformation, a VIP day for the high achieving woman who is ready to be successful and fulfilled. If you are a woman who feels burned out and uninspired, or you are a woman ready to start over after a divorce, death, or other disruption, or you are a mother whose children are ready to leave the nest or are already gone, and you are now ready to create a meaningful life for yourself, or you are a woman who's approaching your golden years and you want the next half to be the best half, or you are a woman who's ready to get more out of life and ready to stop marking time and start living life, then we need to have a revelation conversation. Go to www.everythingideserve.com to schedule your complimentary revelation conversation, where together we will talk about where you are now and where you want to be, and begin to develop a plan to get you where you desire to be. You will leave your revelation conversation understanding the first thing that you can start doing today to begin living a successful and fulfilled life. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Living Life in the End for the Successful and Fulfilled Woman. Please be sure to let me know what made you feel something, what you learned, and what moved you to action. Please subscribe so you don't miss out on a great conversation. And don't forget to rate and review the podcast and let me know how you are living life in the end. Life is too long to be unfulfilled. Don't keep all this goodness to yourself. Tell someone else to listen for themselves. We should all be fulfilled. Remember, your life is the product of your choices. Choose to commit to bringing the desires of your heart to completion. You don't get what you deserve until you get what you decide. Life is too long to be unfulfilled.